Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Monday morning. I'm looking at the weather. The whole week really looks good compared to last week's frigid weather we had. So go ahead and get prepared for some good pictures I'll be showing all week long from all you viewers sending them in. So, of course, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Run by, check out all the programs they have there. Great nursing program they have, great welding program, and all bookkeeping, all kind of stuff on computers they have now. So go check them out. High today, 78, low tonight, 59. It looks like toward the end of the week we're going to get into the 80s. Water temperature is going up. It stayed around 70. I'm expecting to go up some this week, but it's been 70 now for about 8 straight days. The moon phases. Every Monday we like to do the Monday moon phases, and this is a good week to do it. Today's Monday, April the 21st. Okay, and we're looking at the moon is going ahead and is waxing on. Waning. It's waning this week, and it's going to be a new moon next week. But I'll go ahead and start talking about the May full moon, because you know, if you watch the show many years now, you know I really every year talk about the May full moon. It's going to be May. I've got it written down. It's going to be May 15th. So got about 3 or 4 weeks away. So we're going to talk about the freshwater fishing, how good it will be going up into the May full moon. So let's look again at the water temperature chart I put together last week. I just want you to be aware of what's been going on, and we're right here on April 17th, but I just want you to look at the pattern and try to, you know, if you live here and all, you want to try to understand this pattern comes in every year like this. Started back in January on the far left there, as at 52 degrees on January 13th, and 1 month later, February 14th, it's going up to 57. And of course, you can follow it. You can follow it all along in here. But we started catching some Spanish mackerel right in here when it hit 64. About the middle of March, we started catching those Spanish, and then lately, the last couple of weeks, you see up to 7 degrees now. It's really brought in the cobia and brought in the pompano. So that goes together every year like that. I love charting it and talking to students about it. We have a good time. All right. Now, we got a giveaway coming up sometime in the show, and we've got a special guest. So let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and Daniel Raffield.
Morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Kramer Chevrolet, and everything going well down there?
Rocking and rolling, selling cars and trucks. Can't stop. Love it.
Well, we got some fishing to talk about first. But usually we talk about fishing first and trucks, but let's talk about trucks first before we get into the fishing part.
We're doing truck month again. This second month in a row, General Motors has allowed us to run Chevy truck month again, and that's also on the GMC Sierras, but you can save up to $10,000 on some of these trucks. It's funny when you tell a customer, you know, you show him that this month they're doing employee pricing. It's unbelievable what a guy can buy a truck for. You save a pile of money. And we need trades now more than anything too. So if you're looking to buy a new vehicle and you've got something you want to trade in, there ain't no better time. I say this every time I come on the show, and it's the truth.
It's good. And one of our viewers, you said, came by the other day.
Mr. Jeb Sasser, he walked in my door, and I've known him my whole life, and he saw me on your show, and he bragged about Coach and what a good show this was. So I just want to tell Mr. Sasser, good morning to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you getting a new truck and all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had a good time with you.
We were talking about he lives up there. How far now? Up on which road?
386 on Pleasant Rest Road. Up there close to the cemetery where my bunch is laid to rest.
Okay.
A bunch of us there. He's a good fella. He likes to fish, and I told him he needed to call you sometime, maybe give you a freshwater report.
Well, that would be great. A lot of times it's hard to get freshwater reports. I used to know a lot of folks around Howard's Creek, and they're usually out fishing now. I don't hear from them. But it's high water. I'm hoping they'll be home a little bit and call me.
Yes,
but anyway, we're talking about the new trucks now, 2015s. What are we looking at on those?
What you've got right now in the 2015s that are on the lot today is the 2500 heavy-duty diesel, which is a Duramax crew cab.
Okay.
And we have those on the ground in the Sierra and the Silverado, which is Chevrolet. The 15 lineup is unbelievable. Just like we were talking a little while ago, the 2015 Tahoes are in, and they're beautiful. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful SUVs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And So it's going to be a fun year as far as new inventory.
Okay. You're talking about your buddy up there living on the road. It made me think about going over to Howard Creek and all this hot water. We're talking about, and you grew up down there too. So we're talking about ditch fishing.
Right.
Like I said, because some of my viewers have talked about, and I've seen some buddies have went ditch fishing. A lot of people don't understand what ditch fishing is. So I want you to tell them, you're a Gulf County boy.
Ditch fishing is a day that you go out with your friends and you take your 5-gallon bucket and your crickets and your worms and your cane pole and you go out and you sit and catch fish in the ditch. It doesn't require as much effort as taking a boat, and it's just as fun. And the fish fry up just as easy.
And what, for you new folks and all that don't understand what I'm talking about, the water has gotten so high, and you have a lot of low ground down there.
Right.
And it just pushes the water back up into the ditches. And there's fish in those ditches.
Me and Sean on Sauce Creek Road, like Coach is telling you, the water's way up high. You can catch bass. We've caught brim. You can catch shell cracker.
Yeah.
Everything that's usually in the banks now is out of the banks and in the woods.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. I'm gonna do a show pretty soon on ditch fishing.
And another great thing about ditch fishing is the amount of wildlife that you'll see while you're sitting out by the road. Because now you've got snakes, you've got birds, you've got alligators, and all these things that have come in.
And the deer, you're going to see deer running around, wild hogs. It's amazing. Take your camera with you. And it's a great time to introduce a kid to fishing because, it's real convenient to the truck and all that.
Right.
And the bugs haven't got bad yet. And sometimes you're going to fish this deep.
That's right. That's right. You don't need much cork and much line.
You don't need a lot of equipment at all. So, and I'm surprised, though, at the success people have. I talked to the guy the other day. He just caught a bucket full of fish.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Yeah. It's a good day with a child. It's a good day. A lot of people play golf. Around here, we fish. So
yeah. Okay.
It's a good time.
Let's take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So here with Daniel Raffield from the big Chevrolet place right down the road. Got a big flag hanging up and all, and we're talking about those Yukons and Tahoes, and they're
Yukons
nice.
And Tahoes and the new Corvettes.
Yeah, they're nice. Okay, let's talk about this fishing tournament right now. We're getting close to it. I said a lot closer than we were last week. About a month away. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you so you can put it on your calendar. The Gulf Power Boys. They're going to be May 24th. The Plant Smith Committee putting on. It's going to be at the boat ramp on the west end of the Deer Point Dam. It's on the saltwater side, and gives you the number there. Chris Bright or Shane Raffield. That's his cousin.
Old family there, Shane. There's a pile of us around here.
Yeah. So Shane was in my class, and those boys and all that money is going to go to a lot of different charities. I'm going to get those boys to come on the show and talk about it. That'll be a lot of fun. Be a local fishing tournament doing good things. Also, have an email from the FWC talking about lionfish. How, this has really become a problem. It's called a lionfish invasion, and FWC is moving forward and go ahead and try to do all they can to nip it in the bud. But they're out there, and they're what they're doing, removing all the restrictions from you just going in there and getting them out of the way. They're good to eat. I've never eaten one. Have you had a lionfish? I've
never had a lionfish. Is that the fish that can kill you if you don't? Do it right.
It can sting you. I don't know if it can kill you, but I know they have a tough time with it right there. So be aware of that. And don't forget, talking about marketing calendar, that May 16th, and that'll be that full moon on May 16th. There, go and mark that on your calendar. Email here from John Rush. Y'all remember John, my intern? You remember John from last year?
I do. Yeah, the young man that was here running the cameras for you. I remember him.
He was
from Auburn.
That's exactly right.
I remember him.
Well, he got married about 2 weeks ago, and Gail and I went up there to the wedding up in Athens, Georgia. And I had a great time. He sent me an email expressing thanks for coming up there. But what I want to read, he said, Meredith and I, cannot express enough how much we appreciate you and Miss Gail coming up and making the trip. And went on down to say, we're finally getting settled down in Atlanta. Because people ask, you getting settled down? So I finally figured out a date to put on the calendar to get back down there to the Gulf and get some fishing in. And it's the last sentence. You have no idea how bad I miss the water.
Good for him.
And tight lines from John. And I wanted to read that to you because there's so many folks up in Alabama and Georgia that don't live down here that we take it for granted. So many times, day by day, we take it for granted. But these guys that have this passion and love for the water, they really miss it. I know you see it with folks coming down.
I see it in what I do every day. As much as I love selling trucks and love my customers, I love the water. And when I'm away from it, my heart wants to be on it. And there will be some fishing this year, Mr. Kramer.
Well, listen, you and your dad went out the other day.
Yes, sir.
How'd y'all do?
We caught some Spanish, Dad and I did, out there. We caught them in St. Joe Bay and just outside the mouth there. Caught a couple pompano on what we call the outside beach, which is old timers call that Cape Sandblast. Had a good time throwing the jig and getting some sun, and so we hope to do some more of that here.
Just relaxing to go.
Yes, sir.
Pompano, how deep water were they in?
We were catching them in about waist deep.
Okay.
We were fishing in the gully.
Boat.
Right. We were fishing from the beach through the gully.
Okay.
And throwing them to the beach and working them back and just having a great time. Pompano is a fun fish to catch, and it's even a better fish to eat. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it is one of my favorites too. In fact, that's what's behind us right here. And the fact they come from Cape Sandblast, I do most of my fishing. But the guys around here are doing real well, doing the same kind of fishing. They do the same kind of fishing off Shell Island and fish back toward the beach and all. And then the surf fishermen on the west end down there are just catching right there out of the surf.
2 years ago, my wife and I went to Cape Sandblast and stayed at my dad's place, but I caught one on accident, and I was fishing off the beach, and that rascal hit, and that was the funnest fish I've ever caught surf fishing.
Yeah.
And he it was unbelievable. Yeah. And I've caught him off the boat, but never off of the beach, and it was fun. Had a good time with it.
Daniel, I've been catching those fish a long time. It's a thrill every time I catch one. I mean, it's just like catching one for the first time because you know they're gonna run, they're gonna be strong, and they're gonna turn sideways on you.
Right, and then he's fun to pull in.
Oh, they're a thrill to pull in.
And it's one of the only fish. He's good to eat. You can eat him any way. You can broil him, you can fry him, you can grill him.
Yeah, I've got to where I like to grill mine a lot.
Right,
and they're really good down there. And it has a lot of meat on it.
A lot of meat. My granddad, when I was a kid, he would take that fish and cut his eyes out in his gill plates, and he'd cook the whole fish.
Did he?
Of course, he'd take the guts out of him, scale him, but he'd cook that fish. And I remember that pompano. It's got real dark meat on its head, runs like this. And you take your finger and you could eat that meat. It was unbelievable.
He would eat that meat.
Oh, he would eat the whole fish.
I get tickled thinking about the old timers out of my book about how they cooked and how they did things and all that. Back when your family first came down here in the 1800s, they would, over there at East Bay, they would gather up, and sometimes there were 2 or 3 of these big gill nets out.
Right.
And they would catch so many, but they would boil them. They boil the heads and all to get the cooking oil. They would take the oil off the top of the boiler there and then put that in another pot, and then fry the fish with the oil they got out of the fish.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fascinating. I did not know that until I started talking to these old timers. And that's exactly how they would get the fishing oil. They didn't have a Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, that's right. You couldn't get no canola.
They would get all those heads and all, and the oil would come out, and they'd skim that oil off the top, put in another pan, and have a big fish fry.
I tell you what, we need to do that again.
It would be neat. That'd be something to do good with my students, experiment, let them do it, and just keep the heritage and show how they do different things and all that.
That's interesting.
And the thing about then, when I was doing that research, they were in the fall when there's so many fish out there. They, like your family, sometimes would team up. Of course, your family was huge and all, but they would get some of the other families they'd all get together and put their nets together side by side and just have a huge pool.
Sure.
Because when they knew they were in there, those mullet would come out.
They were seine fishing. That's what they were doing. They was working off the hill. And if you've never, I know maybe there's a few people out there watching Coach's show that've done that. That's hard work. Seine fishing.
It is
hard. I've had the opportunity a couple times with my granddaddy. I even had my own seine belt.
And, you did?
Oh yeah. Papa would make me pull just like the rest of the men, but it's hard work.
It is very physically demanding.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, okay, we're going to take our final break, and we'll be right back with the last section, and we're going to give away a bag of tackle.
Woo!
All right, welcome back to the final segment of Panhandle Outdoors on this Monday morning. Sitting here with the Bill Kramer salesman, Daniel Raphael.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Things are going good down on your end?
Having a good time in the used car department. Trucks inventory is getting good. The car inventory is good. The deals are there, and hey, we need to sell them.
Yeah, Jack, your boss Jack, that runs that whole department. I deal with him a lot. A good fellow, a good fisherman. Really enjoys
Absolutely.
Jack. He had some tough luck. His house flooded.
Poor Jack had some tough times. He woke up around, I guess it was 3:30 in the morning, and his washing machine never shut off, and had about 3 or 4 inches of water in his house. So it was
the whole house.
The whole house.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable. We had to replace all the flooring. And he's been fighting that battle, I know, for 2 or 3 weeks now.
You know, there's 2 tragedies can happen in a house, you know, burn down or a flood, and both of them are tragedies and all that. And we've been through a flood. We got hit by Hurricane Opal, and it's amazing how you redo everything.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, you know, growing up on St. Joe Bay, Dad's house would flood every time we'd get a bad hurricane. And Opal put about 3 or 4 foot of water in his house.
Yeah, I was
and it's never fun. It's terrible when you have to deal with that kind of problem.
Well, was it the same place he lives now?
Yes, in the lighthouse. Yeah.
Yeah. But he goes upstairs, don't he?
Well, what we do, we just stack everything up and board the windows and shut the doors, and
that's
all you can do.
All right, let's look at our fishing game times for today. If you're going out outdoors on this beautiful day, we're looking at our time brought to us by Mark Howard of Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. Give Mark a call. Time is 6:08 a.m. Good time this morning, 6:08 to 8:08, or this evening, 6:36 to 8:36. Those 2 times will be excellent times to get outdoors. Got a quick email here I want to read from Rex and Beth Nelson. These folks have watched Panhandle Outdoors since day one, okay? Live over here and said, hey, yep. He said, Winston, yep, we're still watching daily. And not too many fish stores that they love to fish, and they used to send us some good pictures. We are still learning how to fish offshore. They were inshore fishermen for a good while, and this shows the flexibility of a good fisherman, and also the blessing of living in an area where you can really concentrate inshore for a while, and then you may want to try something else. So
that's right.
Rex is doing this. He now has a 20-foot pro line. He got this past spring. Beth hooked up an amberjack the other day, able to catch some king, Spanish, and mahi trolling. So he's doing pretty well.
He's having a good luck at that, yeah.
Learning how to fish. Hopefully the weather will be more cooperative this summer. I agree with that. Seemed like we just couldn't catch a day last year when it wasn't blowing or raining. Didn't even make a scallop trip last year. Speaking of scallops, we're right around the corner.
We're right around the corner from it.
And you know, the weather was counterproductive to good scalloping.
Yes,
it really was.
This year we should see another good year. For everything I'm hearing, the reports are good.
Has your dad been out looking around any? Or?
Dad hasn't been. Dad, you know, he's Marina Dan right now. So we.
But he goes on to say, we're going to put it. He said he wanted more tips on how to show how to hook big rags. We're going and sheephead and pass. You know, the sheephead and pass, you want to use those small hooks, okay? Small hooks, and I'll show you the rig. And also, the pass is another great place to fish for big reds. And people caught them there for years. It seems more people know about it now. And that's more people are talking about it.
That's how it is in St. Joe, too. You know, for years, that was a secret for the locals. We knew where to go. Now everybody knows where they're at.
Yeah, we even have kayak fishermen going at night fishing under the bridge.
Wow.
And so it's the big thing that, you know, redfish, I call it a channel.
Right.
Channel fish. So what happens is they just hanging around those channels. And I know it's a good spots over there. But anyway, Rex and Beth have some good email. Appreciate you sending that. And now let's get we're going to give away a new truck.
That's right, Mr. Kramer. We're giving away a new truck. Coach Winston, he's taking care of everything. Don't worry about it, folks.
I've been a bag of tackle, okay? we were laughing about that. He's afraid I was going to say that earlier. Let's just see what all we're going to win in this bag of tackle, okay? First of all, a walk through nature, okay? This is Jeff Peck. This is Jeff, our director over here, put together this video. I've mentioned it before, but this is a wonderful video all along the Emerald Coast here of some just natural scenes. It makes a great present. You got Mother's Day coming up soon, Father's Day, birthdays and all.
Absolutely. And
that is something really nice. Appreciate Jeff putting this in our bag.
Wow, that's all right.
Okay. We talked about this too. The Trigger X. So you like that one? The Trigger X. These are the crabs. Now you can catch talking about catching redfish in the past. You can catch redfish in the past on these right here. Okay. It depicts a crab. Oh. Got a gray smell on them, and you can rig them, you fish them at different depths and all. I guarantee you can catch some redfish.
And you don't have to dig through the sand to catch them.
That's right. Coastal Angler Magazine, okay. Shrimp. The single best bait anywhere, if you had to just fish one thing, it would be shrimp.
Absolutely.
And you get all kind of copies and all. And I like this is an ultra shrimp put up by Z-Man, okay. That's a expensive shrimp. Yours free. Okay, what else we got in here? We got some big bite baits.
That's good stuff.
Big bite baits.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now we talked about this before. We're right in the middle of Spanish mackerel season, and this 3-pack right here got these from Blue Water Outrigger.
Deadly.
3-pack of gotchas.
Yes, sir.
You can't beat that.
No.
What? We still got more stuff in here.
My name in the hat over there.
I don't know if it is or not. Pen grease for you.
That's a necessity. You got to have that.
You got to keep that in your pocket. Floating pliers. Floating pliers.
Woo.
I love these floating pliers, okay? They're from Berkeley. And, oh, I got to show you this. A bluefish. Now, let me tell you about these, okay? Now, you can't see it's got a little hole right here. This is for a kid to practice casting, is what that is, okay? And put it on a little lightweight reel and throw it out and let them bring it in. And they really really work. I use them in outdoor edge for the kids and casting. They're not real too heavy for them, so that works good too. So we got something for the whole family. I guess that's it right there.
That's from Shakespeare.
Also a gift from Stabil Fuel Stabilizer of some free fuel stabilizer.
That's good stuff too.
So all this is a part of our tackle bag, and I got one more. I'll give this one away today. Then I got one more coming up later on this week or next week. Okay, so let's get ready to make sure you register now. I'm gonna give away rod and reel probably next week too. We'll give away some all the time. Last year was the year before, Jeff. We gave away about $10,000 worth of stuff. Maybe.
My gracious.
Yeah, we did. All right, pick out one name out there, Daniel.
All right, we're gonna go with one name. Good gracious alive.
And who's that winner gonna be?
Oh, Greg Taylor.
Greg Taylor, Panhandle City Beach. All right, Greg. I know he'll use this tackle. Greg Taylor. I'm gonna go ahead and write it down here. Tackle. Put your name on it. And
it's Daniel Radfield.
Okay, April 21st. Tackle. All right. All right. Appreciate y'all entering, and we're gonna do some good stuff there. All right. Now, got about 45 seconds or so, Daniel.
45 seconds. If I could tell you one thing, I would tell you, please come see me at Bill Kramer Chevrolet. I'm raising, me and my wife, a 9-month-old hungry child that loves eating milk. Diapers are a necessity. And, we'd love to see you.
Your outlook changes on life when you have that kid.
Absolutely. Right? You and I were talking when I pulled up in my paid-for vehicle, and he asked me what I was doing driving that truck, and I said, hey, it's paid for.
That's number one.
Number one, the most important thing.
Y'all know, for his age, for him to realize that, do that with a kid, that's great.
That's right. That's number one.
All right.
Priority.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Coach. I enjoyed it.
All right, man. And thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors today. We've got a great week lined up, so go to watch us all week. Do something good for somebody today. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.